what is the significance of a country having a legal arbitration mechanism to resolve disputes?
I would say it's essential for international trade and to provide parties and companies that invest in a country or have a contractual relationship with another party to have security that they have a set up, safe, secure mechanism to resolve their disputes.
And what is the international view about Brazilian arbitration and the rules in Brazilian arbitration in agreement with precepts of international arbitration?
I think, and I'm speaking quite generally here, that Brazil is one of the most popular parties in ICC arbitration, from what I'm aware of, and I think there are Brazilian institutions like the CAM-CCBC that enjoy a really renowned reputation worldwide. Certainly in Viena, they're very well known, and they enjoy a very positive reputation. So I think overall, it is quite a positive image that that arbitration enjoys internationally.
And what is necessary to be laid down in the legislation and to give legal security to arbitration and ensure the decisions taken by this form of dispute resolution?
I think certainly in Austria, we have the Austrian Code of Civil Procedure and we have the institutional rules. And we also have a number of international guidelines that give parties guidelines and recommendations as to how they should conduct their arbitrations. And I think that usually is sufficient. I think one has to be very careful not to over-regulate the system. It's a system that's existed for a very long period of time. And any kind of over-regulation, I think, would damage the system, the entire integrity of the institution.
And there is a lot of dispute in Brazil, in the Brazilian judiciary, connected to the duty of disclosure. Who is responsible for this duty according to Viac?
So according to Viac, the responsibility of disclosure is the arbitrator, so the individual arbitrators. They get ample opportunity when they accept their office as arbitrator to disclose any relevant facts that they think could be of interest to the parties. And then the parties have the opportunity to comment on the circumstances that have been disclosed by the parties. And if there is any kind of doubt as to the impartiality or independence of the arbitrator, the institution, certainly Viac, will not confirm the respective arbitrator. Now, if circumstances come to light at a later stage, then the parties still have the opportunity to challenge that arbitrator. And then the system is quite similar, that Viac will look at the circumstances and consider whether there is a risk to the institution. But I think overall, in my experience, arbitrators tend to err on the side of caution. They tend to disclose more information so that the parties, know what the status quo is at the outset of their arbitration.
All right. And aren't there international rules about what needs to be disclosed and when it's the right moment to raise arbitration impartiality?
So the IBA guidelines on the conflict of interest are the guidelines that we refer to internationally, and even the Austrian Supreme Court have issued in a ruling that they use the guidelines specifically to review whether or not there is a conflict of interest, even though they are just soft law. And these guidelines, I think, are really useful on an international level. They differentiate between green, orange, and red. However, obviously, in practice, there will rarely be a situation where that you can allocate to a specific guideline. So often it might be a situation which is between green and between orange, but the guidelines are there for us to use our common sense to establish whether or not there is a conflict.